This review hearing is quietly pivotal. On paper, this is about progress. But underneath, the court is weighing whether reunification is truly ready or just close enough to feel ready.
A review. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Lee Heiss, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Scott, counsel for the department. Ms. Kopis.
Eva Kopis, child welfare specialist with MDHHS.
Will you spell that for us, please?
Yes, Eva, EVA, Kopis, KOPAS.
Thank you.
Michael Brooks, I represent the mother, Amanda Brayman. Amanda?
Amanda Brayman, mother. All right.
Good afternoon.
Good.
Ariel Berger here on behalf of Father Todd Knapp.
Okay. Have you heard from your client?
I have not heard from him since August, Your Honor.
Okay.
Well, my client says he's in a hospital, Your Honor.
Oh, I see. Well, it looks like there was publication June 30th for the putative father issue. For August 8th, 2023. Is that what you're referring to there, Ms. Berger? You see
It was about that time.
All right. Well, we'll get to more of that then in a few minutes. Whenever you're ready for your report, Ms. Heiss.
Thank you, Your Honor. Part of my report will rely on, later, I'll call it a witness, the placement for Zara, or Z, is here, and she brought a letter from Zara. I have not visited in person with Zara this review period, but Mother Amanda Brayman did help me Zoom with the little guy, Zion, and he was just born 2 minutes ago, and he's already got long curly hair. He's walking. Oh, is he really vibrant young man, and meeting all his developmental milestones according to the investigative report done by Ms. Kopis. We lost Ms. Burgess as the caseworker, and we had come so far, and then Eva came along and picked up the pace and made relationships, which is so important. Ms. Brayman told us in the beginning that services were a lot. They were almost overwhelming, and she's had so many changes in workers, but she's doing well. And I have received and reviewed the investigation, and when it's my turn to call a witness, I'll have you hear that Z is enjoying her time with her mother, hoping to be home full time, and asking that you will grant her more overnights and maybe an expedited review. Thank you.
My client tells me the 1-year-old is doing 9th grade algebra too.
Okay. Ms. Thomas, any witnesses today?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Kopis.
Ms. Kopis, come on up to our witness stand.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Where? Ms. Thomas?
Ms. Kopis, you prepared a court report for today's hearing and included the case service plan. Are there any updates or modifications that you need to make to it?
Not at this time, no.
In your court report, I see where you have under the permanency planning portion, a lot of updates for Ms. Brayman, but not for Mr. Knapp. Are there any updates that you can provide us as relates to his case service plan and compliance with that you're aware of?
So I did have conversations with Mr. Knapp in late August and early September. I did attempt to reach out to him as we were approaching court, both via text message and calling him as well. When I spoke with him last, at the end of August, he was not in a good place. He did not have income or housing and was continuing to work on his mental health. He was living in Jackson, Mississippi, was my last understanding. He did not provide a lot of detail as to what he was working on and what his plans were. He mostly wanted to know how his daughter was doing and if I had any concerns about her. He kind of navigated the conversation to be a lot about Z as opposed to himself.
And are they having any contact at all?
No.
And as it relates to Ms. Brayman, I'm trying not to skip ahead here, but your report is really a positive thing for Ms. Brayman. Is that fair to say?
It is, and to her fairness, we did not get off on the right foot, and I strongly worried about this case, and we were able to, we have a common goal, and I think that has helped us to mutually figure out how to manage this case together. Mother has come to me with her issues when she has them, even if I'm the issue, she still brings it to me. We still are able to discuss it. And from my understanding from previous service providers, that is a huge strength. That is a positive. That's something new that we haven't kind of fully seen out of Mom. And that has been pretty much the reporting period is as problems arise, Mom has brought it to us. If it's not me, she's bringing it up to Margaret. So we see the work, we see the problem solving. I did have an opportunity. The family unfortunately lost a very close pet of theirs, and I had an opportunity to watch Mom engage with Z and to discuss this with her and to for Z to understand what happened, because it didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen. It kind of jumbled around, and Mom did fantastic. She did wonderful with her about her emotional needs. There was an incident where she tried to grab sweet foods. Mom was, again, very attentive about, are we eating our emotions? Are we not? And it was something that had been brought up before. And so she's done very well this reporting period. I truly have no complaints.
Awesome. Thank you for that update. And so is it your opinion that there's no longer substantial risk of harm to the extent that Z could potentially be returned home today?
I would like to see more overnights. Mom is doing well with getting into the routine. I would like an earlier review. I do think that we are ready for reunification. I would just like to see Mom and Z get more established in their routines for the overnights. We do have a family team meeting scheduled for this Friday, and that's the primary goal, is to discuss the outcome of court and how we're going to expand those visitations further.
Okay. So it sounds like what you're asking for is just a short review period so that there can be a transition phase into the unification or reunification.
Yes.
At this time, are there any barriers, are there needs that Z has that are not being addressed?
No, all of her needs are being addressed. The foster mom and birth mom do a fabulous job of communicating with each other and then communicating that back to me if there's a problem or something, if they just don't know how it needs to be done, and then we problem solve it together.
And will the current foster care placement also serve as a support person after reunification?
It's something we've discussed. I don't know what that'll look like, but I do believe that they will be a support to Z and Mom.
Wonderful. And are there any other services that Mom needs to engage in this time?
Not at this time, no.
And is there anything that you would like to bring to the court's attention?
Not at this time, no.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Kopis. I'm going to move to admit the court report and the case service plans that are attached.
No objection.
No,
I have no objection.
Thank you. They have received questions, Ms. Berger?
no, Your Honor, I've not had contact with my client, so I have no questions for this witness.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Brooks?
No, I have no questions.
Ms. Heiss?
Just briefly, Ms. Kopis, the child has spent school nights overnight with her mother this review period, correct?
Yes, she does Monday evenings into Tuesday mornings. I have had no complaints about Mom getting her to school. And then she does Thursday into Friday. And then our hope is to expand that for weekend visits again, at our family team meeting this Friday.
And then mother is willing to continue at least the Girl Scouts, if not all of the extracurricular activities. Is that your understanding?
It is my understanding. Mom has some logistical issues, transportation being a major barrier, but she's working on it and she meets us halfway. And I do believe that when she says that she wants Z to continue in these activities, that she meets it.
Thank you. And that concludes my questions at this time.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seat? Anyone else? Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
No, Your Honor, I have no witnesses.
All right. I do think we need to hear from your client about any information she might have on Mr. Knapp. Deputy, would you swear her in, please?
All right. Please raise your right. Do you want her at the witness stand?
I think that would be.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will advise the court that my client is in some pain due to a neurological issue in her jaw.
Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Here's a step there. Be careful.
All right. Tell us what you'd like know about Mr. Knapp.
Okay, Todd had called me yesterday from a 601 number, so that would be,
Hey, scoot right up to that microphone, and that way you don't have to speak up.
okay, Todd called me from a 601 number yesterday, so that would be like the Jackson, Mississippi area. So a lady said, wait for transfer, so that usually means that he's in a mental institution. So then I just wait for her to transfer, and then he'll say hello. And so of course I said, where are you at? What's going on? And he said, I didn't have anywhere to go. So they dropped me off at a hospital without my wheelchair, so I couldn't leave. So they transferred me over here. He informed me that he had made progress in getting fitted for a new prosthesis and that he has a pickup appointment for Wednesday for that prosthesis, but he's concerned that maybe they won't be able to help him get there. I said to him, well, you want to make sure you express how important this is for you to get that leg so that you can be independent to care for yourself. And he said that he was going to keep trying. And then he asked, a couple minutes of how Zara was doing, how was the appointments, that I might go to for doctors or whatever. And I explained to him, he expressed concern like, well, do you know if they're going to terminate my rights? I really don't know what's going on. A lot of the conversations just really scattered. Like he has, schizophrenia, and sometimes he just isn't there. And, maybe even if he has a conversation, he forgets what you said.
This testimony shifts the lens of the father, and it's sobering. Severe mental illness, lack of housing, and hospitalization don't just affect parental rights. They affect timelines. Juvenile court isn't judging intent here. It's confronting capacity, stability, and whether engagement is realistically possible right now.
So I just kind of reassured him that, hey, if you try to put in effort, they'll work with you. You just try to do something. And he just expressed that, he does want to try. It's just he doesn't know how. And that's pretty common with him. Unfortunately, once we turned 20, the illness really took a hold of his cognitive ability and function. So unfortunately, this is a pretty common conversation I have with him. So.
Well, it looks like you're doing very well. Is there anything else that you wanted to share today about what's happening with you?
No, Zara's doing really good when she comes for visits, and she gets right up in the morning and, comes in and says hi to her brother. She walks right in like she's already living at home, hangs out in her bedroom, will ask to go play with the neighbor kids. Eva had said we did have one incidents where she was a little bit, teenagery, I guess you want to call it. And she was just like, why do you have to be this way? And I'm kind of like, well, I need their number because if you go into their home, I got to know where you are, I'm just being your mom. And I bring it up with Margaret. Margaret said, yeah, you can't give attitude to mom. I'm sorry. She's doing her job. And that was it. There was no more discussion.
And that's your IHT therapist through CMH, right?
Highfield, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Great.
And she's been really, they even, they offer lots of support and suggestions, and, they'll sit down and help you make a schedule, give you ideas and stuff like that if you want to like brainstorm together. So it's very helpful, and it's not an overwhelming amount either. So it's not like, they're there every day or something and your kids can't be a kid. So it's just like, I think we do it like once a week or once every other week. And so it's manageable and it's not overwhelming.
All right. So, any questions?
Briefly,
No,
Your Honor. Ms. Brayman, you are, would you say, personal friends with Linda Edwards?
That's accurate, I would say. I mean, I've known her since Zara was born. When we had our first case, she wasn't removed from me. She was only removed from Dad at that point. And so Linda worked with us 2 separate times on that case. She came to observe me when Z was first born. And then when Z was about a year old, she did the parenting time for Todd to prove himself before the case was closed.
So in this case, her services are done in this case, right?
Yes.
Would you consider her someone that you would rely on for support if you needed support while Z is with you?
Yes, and like I had told you earlier, I did reach out to her twice already, since she has stopped her services, and she's still a very, Zara or Z still even calls her Grandma Linda. So,
okay. And you're willing to let Z continue with Girl Scouts, even if it's your day and the foster mom who's the scout leader needs Z to participate in something. You're willing to do that, right?
Yeah. And we've worked on figuring out transportation for like things like football and stuff like that as well. I've been, I've posted on Facebook a few times saying like, does somebody's kid do this or whatever? Like, can you, bring mine home afterwards or whatever? So we've been, reaching out, trying to find some ways to figure it out. Cause I know she doesn't, or they do enjoy it. They're very proud of themselves being on the team. They're proud of themselves for losing the weight, which we can attribute to being on the football team and playing. And my cousin is also the coach, and they were super excited to be put into the game last week. Even though they were a little bit nervous because they had never played in a game, but they were still very excited.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. And return to your seat. Comments, Ms. Thomas?
Your Honor, I think it would be.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a witness, Ms. Heiss?
Yes, Your Honor. May I call Chelsea Flores?
Yes. All right, Ms. Flores, come on up. You did warn me. I'm sorry about that.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Hey.
Pull right up to the microphone there. Would you state your name, please?
Chelsea Flores.
And how do you know Z?
This is one of the most powerful moments in the hearing. The child doesn't ask for everything at once. She asks for continuity, overnights, and a path home. Courts listen closely here because a child's voice doesn't decide the case, but absolutely informs how cautiously or confidently the court moves forward.
I'm foster mom.
Very good. And you helped her. Would you tell us what that is you're holding in your hand?
I'm holding a letter. At the end of school today, she wanted to tell the judge something, but was worried because she has a football game tonight. She didn't want to miss pregame. So she dictated and I wrote.
Okay. And you work at her school. That's how you had access
Yes.
to help her. Would you be willing to read that letter for us?
Sure. It says, Dear Judge, I like that you are making me do overnight visits with my brother and mom. I like the unsupervised visits and I want to keep them. I want to know if I'm going to be home full time by Christmas. I feel that my mom is ready for me to come home in some ways. Thank you for making this happen. Zara now.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my presentation.
Questions, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Berger?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Brooks?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. All right, counselors, anyone else before we wrap up today?
Nothing further.
No.
Comments then, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think that it would be appropriate to adopt the recommendations of Ms. Kopis, asking for maybe an expedited review, and for the sole purpose of allowing this review, a shortened review period, to have that transition back to mom full time. I think that there's been tremendous progress that we've seen in this last review period. And that everyone is working really well together, and it's really nice to see those things. So for those reasons, I would ask for an expedited review period, and a family team meeting is already scheduled for Friday. Thank you.
Any comments, Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
Nor do I.
Ms. Heiss?
No comments. Thank you.
All right, if we're looking at an expedited review, I have very limited options. And I believe, Ms. Berger, you're out, remind me again, December.
I'm out the 14th through the 3rd. I come back on the 4th.
Okay. Is the idea here to get the review in before the end of the year? Is that the?
Not necessarily. I'm hoping to use the holiday breaks for bigger transitions. So if we went after the first of the year, that would be okay.
Okay, great. That opens us up to the 8th, which is where we've been doing a lot of our scheduling. So I could schedule for a review hearing on this one on Monday, January 8th at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. or 11, whatever's best.
I'll probably just do Zoom. That's super.
All right, well, let's shoot for 11 then in hopes that we get Ms. Brayman available to us.
Well, I mean, obviously my child was hoping to be home before then, so.
Well, it sounds like she's going to be doing some pretty extended visits, and there's a family team meeting coming up on that, so I'll trust you to
You're going to
trust
see a
that.
lot more between now and then. Probably are.
I'll keep just
Don't, yeah.
All right, so January 8th then at 11 a.m. will be our next review. I do find everyone is in satisfaction of their obligations, including Ms. Kopis as it relates to reunification, Ms. Heiss as it relates to her goals, thank you to our litigators, and the work that's being done by Ms. Raymond is exceptional. Thank you for buying in and digging in. I know this hasn't been an easy process for you. It's clearly benefiting your children, your daughter specifically. She's doing well and is excited to continue in the arrangement. It's also beneficial to continue to have Ms. Kopis available to make sure that we're reinforcing the structure and opportunities that your family is experiencing during this transition period. So the current orders will remain in full force and effect. Your daughter has obviously some heightened specialized needs. We're going to need you to continue to demonstrate that you have the appropriate skill around managing those things, in addition to the leaps and bounds that you've done already in upgrading your home and some of the difficult things that I know that you've done in order to get where you are. So we're almost there. We just want to make sure that we're creating a sustainable situation as far as the parent-child relationship goes, because that was one of the main issues that brought this case into my courtroom. So we'll trust Ms. Kopis to continue to monitor that diligently, and the child will remain where she's placed. That is the safest and least restrictive. With that parenting time arrangement continuing to be unsupervised and incorporating overnights. And we'll come back January 8th at 11 a.m. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
The judge's closing makes the balance crystal clear. Exceptional progress, strong collaboration, and unsupervised overnights, but not a rushed reunification. The court wants this transition to last, not just succeed on paper. January's review won't be about hope. It'll be about whether the stability can hold without court pressure.